So yeah, that just happened. So we recently just got the more official format announcements of which regional is going to have premium, which regionals are getting lyrical ministerial cups. And it's interesting how they divided things, where a lot of the premium players are feeling disheartened, and I can understand why. And I really don't want this video to become like more like a complaint or anything like that, but it is something that I do feel should be talked about and kind of have like a dialogue. I'm not even gonna edit this video as much. I'm not even gonna put on the hat. I'm feeling, I guess, disheartened is the best word, really, I guess. To give you some quick context. So Summerfest has a certain amount of events compared to BCS. BCS has a ton of events. So now they're trying to fill in where Premium goes, where Lyrical Monasterio goes. And so you can see that half the events in the USA are Premium, so which makes sense, it's fine. However, how they chose certain events don't make sense for certain regionals, but then it just depends on the venues that they picked. So for example, for the USA, they have the West Coast with California, and in the East Coast, they have Duluth. Though those have big turnouts, I know especially Duluth is good for Premium. Also, Puerto Rico has it too, but you do have to fly to get to Puerto Rico if you're not from Puerto Rico. But then that leaves the question with Rosemont and Texas, which over the years, they've been also prominent with Premium. In fact, with Rosemont, Premium has been really good for the past 5+ years. Even for the longest time, both Premium and Standard were on the same day. And so players for the longest would have to pick either Premium or Standard, and we still had enough people for Premium events. It wasn't until this BCS season that finally we get to play both formats on a single weekend at Rosemont. And then Texas, just always a good place to go, and it's big and massive. And now they don't even have Premium, so it's just like, what? But of course, other places have their own issues too. I'm not too familiar with Europe as much, if that's convenient, not convenient for certain people. I know Asia Oceanic really got like the low end, like 2 events only have Premium, and they have like 8 total events. And I do want to say that it's not the Lyrical Cup's fault. I want to state that out, because Bushiroad literally could have done any other event. Instead of that, it could have been Stokea, it could have been Brandgate, it could have been the Premium, and that have where they divided this with Premium. So it's not specific to the Lyrical Monasterio players. You guys go ahead and enjoy this. You might as well take it, especially with the pricing even being better with this energy marker too. Like, why not? I've even considered myself just playing Prism, and hopefully I get a top just because I want to play casually, and then if I make it to top cut, then I make it to top cut. That's great, you know? A nice little incentive. But again, that could have been done also with Premium, right? Why not? I think the disheartening part of it, and I know this will resonate with a lot of players too, is because they literally just released the ban list that actually had real changes to change the metagame. And it's reignited some players to revisit Premium and be excited for events to play in this new metagame. Because, you know, sometimes people complain that Premium gets stale because there's no new product technically, and with Bushiroad not really do major changes with the ban list in recent years as consistently, it can get old, right? So for me, like logically thinking, like I was actually even more excited for the Summerfest, because I'm like, this is the first official event for Bushiroad where Premium gets to shine and the metagame can form and all these things. But this kind of just was a buzzkill. Like, why go all through this effort with this ban list and not have a whole season really having the opportunity for players to dive in and enjoy it? I can understand that it was for Worlds, but if that's it and that's it, then what about everybody else in Summerfest and seasons moving forward? There's also the topic of like trips being worth it. Even with the economy now, with tariffs and all these flying, and things are just more expensive, right? And so people always have to make that financial decision for themselves. If they want to book a flight, they want to do a hotel. Everybody's in a different financial situation. So you should always be responsible. But now, like, people sometimes made those decisions because they felt like a 2-day event was worth their plane ticket or was worth their hotel stay. You know, other TCGs technically have 1-day events, so this is not really different in that respect, but that's, I think, what made Vanguard a little bit special too, because now these 2-day formats are actually pretty nice. I saw like on Twitter, Orange and Fuzzy making jokes like, hey, we may have that nature walk after all, because the second day, it's like you'd rather sightsee rather than participate in a format that you're not genuinely interested in, and that's okay. If you're not interested in a format, why force yourself to play, you know? But I think, you know, Bushiroad had a really good opportunity to make the season be more exciting, and I hoped, and it's kind of reassessed. It's a good reminder too that Bushiroad is unpredictable, and I I've said this recently too, like I don't even try to speculate or do anything with product or potential ban list hits. It's just, you never know with Bushiroad. Once we know, and we just adapt from there. But I feel like at least in the English side, there should be a little more conscientious, unless they really are trying to not fully support premium anymore. Like I know with the Japan side of things, I'm sure the Lyrical Monasterio Cup is doing well, especially since it's nothing but standard basically over there. Like I went to Japan in October 2024, so it's been like 6 months since I've been there, and I was hoping to find old school Vanguard stuff that I can get, and I couldn't find any. In fact, I've heard businesses that shut down or got rid of their product because of COVID and other reasons too. And the stores that do have it or are getting new product is strictly for standard. So I can see why like standard format is a lot more dominant with Japan, at least. So I think in their minds, having another standard format related event makes sense for them, but I'm not sure. But clearly for the English, there's premium. This season, we had the biggest turnouts too in both events. In fact, people double dipped on the events too. And I think that helped with their numbers too. And so the other solution, and I like to try to be more positive, more optimistic, is that, well, you can still enjoy playing Vanguard in standard. Just find a deck that maybe for the long time players, it may be like encounter decks, it might be G-Stride deck sets. I personally have find enjoyment with the Stride deck sets myself, but that doesn't speak for everybody. Especially if they haven't gotten their Stride deck set that they've been hoping for, or their encounter deck that they've been hoping for. It can be harder for some people to actually enjoy Vanguard in the standard format. To be real, like with a long-time player, like it gets boring too quickly. I find myself already going to the next deck, or I go back to premium, or I go play a different TCG. And I'm sure a lot of premium players that have been long-time players can resonate with that too. Standard can be fun too, like the game aspect and, you know, the little things that you can do is still fun. The technical play aspect is still fun. But again, you can just do more in premium. And there are things to think about more in premium. I think that will leave the video as that. Like, I didn't really have like a solution or anything to look at it. The best thing that I could recommend for other people is just enjoy playing premium with your friends. So enjoy locals if you have one and support them. And if there's any other events outside of Bushiroad events doing it like KSC, Nexus, or whatever that supports premium, go try it out if you can. It's the least that we can do for now until we hear more if they make any changes. It would be great if all this heartening news got through them and they've made some adjustments. That'd be great. Will that happen? I have no idea. All we can say is that this is what we got. Let's have fun somehow with a better attitude. And hopefully next season we have more premium events too as well. And also I'll still be making premium content, no matter what. So definitely premium deck profile still coming up. And then I'll still play standard, of course, and make more content. So like as a content creator, I'm okay. But as a player, that's just like, man, I really don't have any events besides Rosemont for standard for teams to really look forward to, at least for the summer. And let me know in the comments too what you guys feel like resonated with you, or some thoughts or some feelings. Love to hear and have a conversation going too. And with that, I'm going to stop talking. Otherwise, I'm going to keep rambling. Till next time, amigos. Bye.